Today I want to talk about whimsy as a strategy for fighting fascism. Why do I want to talk about that? Well, because I lived in Minnesota for 15 years and one of my children just moved back to Minnesota on the 7th, which was a really sad day in Minneapolis. I want to talk today about why we find the beauty in the darkness. Why I say that one daring adventure is for noticing beauty, telling the truth about the hard stuff, and daring to live anyway. Life is a mixed bag, friends. It is always holding hope in one hand and holding sadness in the other hand, or fear, beauty, despair, grief. Okay? Everything all together all at once. That's how life is. And there is a lot of value in pursuing beauty and pursuing whimsy, because that is a form of resistance in of itself. Because a couple of things. One quote that I really love by James Baldwin: I never have been in despair about the world. Enraged. I've been enraged by the world, but never despair. I can't afford despair. You can't tell the children that there's no hope. And that's James Baldwin. The reason that I say right now, choosing whimsy to fight what is going on in America and to resist, it's because whimsy brings joy, which brings hope. It feeds each other, right? And fear and being scared and hiding and worrying brings despair, okay? We need to resist despair, but how do we do that? We do it by silly things, whimsy, okay? By dancing, by making a playlist that's Rage Against the Machine, if you need to. If you need to be raging before you're whimsying, that is fine. I do my fair share of rage and whimsy. I really am a big fan of the song Threat Level Orange. I recommend on the rage days. On the whimsy days, I'm a fan of lots and lots of 80s music. One of my favorite whimsical people lives in Minneapolis. Her name is Lori Hattin. This is her poetry book. This is one of my favorite books and one of my favorite poems. She knew when they said to get her head out of the clouds, they were just sad, because the places they kept their own heads were much less pleasant. That is exactly why we want to be embracing beauty and joy, why we don't want to say, so much is wrong in the world, like I can't enjoy myself, I can't embrace joy or beauty. Whimsy, like how immature to embrace whimsy. No, whimsy, joy, it's a type of resistance because it continues to feed hope. Authoritarians cannot rise if there are strong communities and people acting with joy. That is, you need despair and anger in order for an authoritarian to rise. It's not okay to stop bringing our best to the world. Whatever it is that you bring to the community, do those things and do them with joy. Don't stop doing the things you love because you're scared, because that actually is a form of resistance. Showing up and doing what you love says you have no place to root here. Heather Cox Richardson. Those are really, really helpful emails that she sends to give you a broad overview of what the heck is going on every day. They get a little overwhelming sometimes. It depends on my mood. only overwhelming because things are overwhelming, right? So I am not belittling the horrors. They are awful. What I am doing is saying, Whimsy, I painted this. This is a friend of a friend. I can't talk about her identity because it would endanger her. But look, she was protesting with flowers on her head. This I painted from a photo, no, actually from a video and then a photo of her protesting an authoritarian government. And hope like a mother is what I put at the bottom, because I think we all need to have the kind of hope that James Baldwin was talking about. James Baldwin was not a mother, but this hope that believes that there is a future that is better for our children, that we fight for joy, we fight to bring joy to others, we fight for joy in our own lives. And the way that I fight for joy is whimsy. What does this mean? It could mean a red lipstick. It doesn't have to be fancy. It could be doing anything that AI cannot do, like holding somebody's hand. AI cannot do that. I'm not anti-AI. I think it's a great tool, but it cannot hold somebody's hand. AI cannot pet your dog. AI cannot eat a banana. So the idea is like getting tangible into our lives. It can't water plants. Maybe it can, but it's more fun to water your plants yourself. Anyway, I just want to encourage you to just like get real in your life, get whimsical, make yourself a soundtrack that you play while you walk through your life or dance through your life. Pretend like you're in a movie and just choose a soundtrack that would describe your movie. My soundtrack is very happy. I might link it for you. Whimsy, friends. It is one of the best things that you can lean into to prevent your own despair. My view on this is extremely informed by my friend that I wrote a book about. Her name was Gretchen, and she figured out how to live with a cloud of impending doom over her because she lived for 6 years with cancer, and she learned how to live with this sense of impending dread, with the reality of really hard things, and knowing that her life was going to be brief, knowing that bad things were happening to her body. She learned how to live anyway. And so I wrote a book about a conversation that I had with her a few months before she died, and it's a book about how to live. It's a book about leaning into what you actually value and figuring out how to like your life despite really hard circumstances. And I think that she would have been very pro my whimsy message because she learned how to enjoy the little joys of being alive. She learned how to like being alive while she was dying, okay? So if you want to read the book, I'm going to link it down in the description. It's just a really quick read. I think it's 54 pages with photos. It's a book about how to live, not about dying. And embracing joy and embracing life is really important, even if we don't want to be living through this. There's horrible things going on around us. But there is the opportunity to be alive today. I love this. My friend Lindsay Carter has posted it several times. But I think that this is the gist of what I am trying to encourage you to do. And helping you remember that this is your life. You can't just wait for 3 years till he's gone or whatever to like live your life. Your life is available to you today. You don't know what is coming in the future. So today, like, enjoy it. Do something that you like. Do what Heather Cox Richardson was saying, like, do what you love. Go out and do it in the community. I know that it is very frightening. My child is living in a very frightening place right now, a place that I love, and it shouldn't be a frightening place. But that place is full of beautiful people who understand community and want to show up for one another. And that is why Minnesota will prevail. That is why Minneapolis will continue to prevail in such a frightening time. Anyway, this is a really timely quote for right now. During the darkest days of the AIDS crisis, we buried our friends in the morning, we protested in the afternoon, and we danced all night. And it was the dance that kept us in the fight, because it was the dance that we were fighting for. And that's Dan Savage is the person who said that. In dark times, we have a choice to enjoy our lives anyway. And by the very fact of choosing joy and choosing to enjoy our lives anyway, and I mean, I'm not saying choosing joy like every cloud has a silver lining. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you have to seek it out. You have to create it. You have to create beauty. You have to seek out any kind of beauty that you can find right now. Any kind of beauty that will keep you going. Silly, whimsical things because they make you smile, they make you laugh. We need to raise up some hope. And that's why I say resist fascism with whimsy, because whimsy is silly little funny things, enjoyable things that bring us dopamine, that bring us happiness, that will fuel our hope so that we can keep going, so that we can like living. And that's why I work so hard to find the beauty around me, even if my own situation doesn't feel beautiful at all, even if the world and what's going on in America doesn't feel beautiful at all. There are ways to find beautiful things. Beauty still exists. You just have to find it. So I want to encourage you to do that. If you need some inspiration for how to live under a shadow of existential dread, please check out my book in the description. Gretchen's wisdom is really, really relieving and encouraging, especially if you feel like stuck. You feel like life hasn't gone the way that you want. You don't want to be dealing with the things that you're having to deal with in America right now. There is still joy to be found, and your life is still now. And so don't miss your life because you're living through something really hard. Don't miss it. Don't miss the whimsy. Don't miss the joy. Live your life as the daring adventure that it is meant to be lived. And man, I just want to give you all a hug. My heart is very much there in the States. My heart is very much in Minnesota right now. So many people I love are in Minnesota. And so many people who deserve to be treated like people are in Minnesota. So please bring some whimsy to Minnesota for me. Hi, today I want to talk about whimsy for fighting fascism. There's a lot of loudness happening around me. Okay. Hey, today I want to talk about whimsy as an approach. Whimsy as an approach. No. Hi. Why One daring adventure is for noticing beauty, telling the truth about what's hard, the hard stuff. One daring adventure is for noticing beauty.